But this one has, this is a good one if you want to take that one.
Okay, same order. Okay, that's the right order?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes Bill DeBrawl, Jackie Rosario, Joe Flesher, Chairman of the Board Peggy Jones, County Administrator Delaware. Because of the music, because we had no support from IT, and I have to do this out of my cell phone. Yeah. Parks and Rec does everything. You haven't noticed that yet?
I know that.
They didn't know how to, they couldn't take it on. Yeah, I'll do it. Right now. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, everyone. Get seated. It's 9 o'clock. When do you all sing?
National anthem,
Oh, national, that's not till later.
right? National anthem, or you sing? Because you could sing anything. Also.
No, they're after all the announcements.
Yeah, I told him they could stand up here. Zario's not here.
Oh, so, okay.
Sorry, it's not here. Oh, okay. I need my list. Excuse me. Let me go to.
All right. Outside check. Okay. Hello, hello. Good morning. Oh, you got this one, I got that one.
Yep.
Check your sound.
Check. Check.
you go.
There we go.
All right, do some music and see if it works.
Yep.
Good morning, everyone. Pardon our technology on the fly here. Very sophisticated. Lisa, do we have them queued up? All right, here we go. Let's get some oxygen in you all people. Now I want to hear hip, hip, hooray so they can hear you outside. Ready? Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Yeah! All right, welcome to Indian River County Game Day. Today, please join me and the School District of Indian River County in recognizing the academic excellence of our athletes as they pursue college careers. Hip, hip. Hooray! All right, and now, your starting lineups. Representing Marine Bank, our mascot for the day, Mariner Pete. Come on, Pete. Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here comes Pete. Here comes Pete Mariner, our mascot for the day. All right. Starting at County Attorney, wearing the purple and gold of the University of Wisconsin at Stephen Point. Let's hear for the Pointers and our County Attorney, Bill DeBrawl. Thank you, Bill. All right. Starting at District 2, County Commissioner, wearing the pride of the blue and white of the United States Air Force Academy Falcons. Let's hear it for Commissioner Joe Flesher. And now, starting at Chairman of the Board of the School District of Indian River County, sporting the black and gold of the University of Central Florida, Dr. Peggy Jones. Also wearing the University of Central Florida black and gold is your County Administrator, John Tukanich. And now, starting at County Commissioner District 4, donning the blue and orange of the University of Florida Gators, please welcome County Commissioner Darrell Ward. Keep that Gator Fight song playing, because now representing the University of Florida District 5 County Commissioner Laura Moss. And now, donning the garnet and gold of the undefeated Florida State Seminoles, representing the school district of Indian River County, Superintendent Dr. David Mullen. Also representing Florida State and starting at Vice Chairman of the Indian River County Commission, let's hear it for Susan Maria Adams, Commissioner, District 1. And a special thank you to our final announcement for our Chairman of the Board, who's put this all together for us and been the lifeblood behind it. Please welcome, donning Florida State's garnet and gold, our Chairman of the Board, Joe Amen. Well done, sir. All right, everyone, please be seated and we'll continue with the meeting.
Everybody else can come on in.
Thank you, everyone. Check. All right, someone call this meeting to order. It's a little out of order in here.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023 Indian River County Board of County Commissioners meeting and game day. We'll talk more about game day in a few minutes. We have some items we have to get through to make this meeting official. So call after calling it order. We're going to start with a moment of silent reflection for our first responders and members of the armed forces with an invocation by the Reverend Joe LaGuardia of the First Baptist Church of Vero Beach. And then I will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And then we have a special treat. The Vero Beach High School Chorus, the Voices of Vero, will be performing the national anthem. So if everybody would please rise.
Thank you for having me today. And on behalf of the congregation of First Baptist Church, we want to pass on blessings to our elected officials and those who work so hard to make our county both beautiful and safe. And a special word of blessing to whoever has to pick up all of that glitter, because that's going to be a bear to come out of the carpet. But I also come not only on behalf of First Baptist Church, but also the interfaith community in which we collaborate in this county. You should be proud that we have people of all faiths and clergy and faith leaders work so hard together to pass along joy and blessings to everyone and our neighbors. Let us pray. We thank you, Lord, for today. We thank you especially for those who serve in capacities in both elected and those who work tirelessly, sometimes on big things and sometimes on small things, sometimes on things that we notice, and sometimes and many times for those who work unnoticed. We give you thanks. We ask that you will bless this time together, that as we steward together our county, in which we long to care for those who live here, not only to improve our life, Lord, but also to work together and collaborate so that all will have a voice, all will feel safe, and all will be comfortable and well served. We ask for your guidance through your Spirit. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the greatest nation in the world. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. Vero Beach Chorus, it's all yours.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red blaze along
But y'all, but that was pretty awesome. I think they deserve another one. All right, next, moving on, one more official business before we get to game day. Commissioners, any deletions to the agenda of emergency items? I know that 15B5 got pulled, so it doesn't, the numbers go from B4 to B6, because 15B5 got pulled. But any further issues, deletions, anything? Motion by Commissioner Fleischer, second by Commissioner Lohr. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, now we're on to game day. All right. I'd like to introduce some special guests I see here with us today. I think we have our clerk of the court, Mr. Ryan Butler. I see our favorite tax collector and her staff, Carol Jean Jordan's here today. And we have some other folks. Anybody else here I didn't see? Because we're saving a lot of the introductions during game day, but we do have some county staff here. And Mr. Katanich, would you like to introduce some of the county staff that's here? Well, just, whoever you want, whoever you like the best.
Very diplomatic, very diplomatic.
This is your favorite kid. My daughter swears she's my favorite daughter, or my favorite child. I'm like,
All right. Next, I'd like a special thanks though to our Deputy County Administrator, Mr. Mike Zito, for helping set this up and being our announcer today. And of course, Beth Powell and the recreation staff, y'all raise your hand over there. Thanks, everybody. All right, that's great. All right, so the first order of business we have to do, it wouldn't be official unless we actually read the proclamation making it game day today in Indian River County before we move on. So with that being said, I'm going to read, in honor to read the proclamation donating October 3rd, 2023 as game day, college sports and academic achievement game day in Indian River County. Whereas academics and high school sports have always been a prominent feature in the community of Indian River County, and whereas Indian River County residents are proud of the athletic and academic successes of all our students. And whereas autumn brings the beginning of the school year and the start of scholastic sports season, bringing about excitement and energy to the community. And whereas some Indian River County students athletes will be continuing their athletic career in college by committing or signing letters of intent with colleges around the country. And whereas some Indian River County students have achieved academic excellence, which has earned them scholarships to colleges around the country. And whereas the Indian River County Board of County Commissioners, together with the school district of Indian River County, are supporting all students who have achieved athletic and academic excellence and are continuing their careers in college. And by encouraging all county staff, school district staff, and students to wear their favorite college shirt or jersey on October 3rd, 2023 in support. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the board proclaims Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023 as College Sports and Academic Achievement Game Day in Indian River County, and the board further proclaims that all Indian River County residents should join the school district of Indian River County by wearing their favorite college shirt or jerseys to support our students that are continuing their careers at college. Adopted this third day of October 2023 and signed by all 5 county commissioners. So that makes it official in my book. I don't know how more official we can get. That's official. So, all right, the next order of business. I want to introduce our partner in this, and he'll come up and say a few words of wisdom, and then he'll introduce his staff and some other stuff here for us today. But It wouldn't be possible without the superintendent and his staff of our county schools to make this possible and do what they do on a daily basis for our students and for our community. So Dr. Moore, who currently serves as the superintendent of schools in Indian River County, he became our superintendent, this lucky guy, just over 2 months after the nation was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm sure you remember that well.
Welcome to Indian River County. Yes, I.
That's right. So being the nation was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic significantly impacted how schools operated and served the educational need of our students. During this time, Dr. Moore efficiently led the district's transition of all students to remote learning platforms. Even in the midst of the challenges of COVID-19, Dr. Moore continued to move forward with significant shifts in practice to maximize student learning and outcomes, including developing and implementing an African American Achievement Plan to address disparities in achievement, discipline, and teacher recruitment, establishing leadership academies for administrators and instructional coaches. But prior to accepting his superintendency here in Indian River County, Dr. Moore served as assistant superintendent in the Miami-Dade Public Schools system, which is the 4th largest school district in the nation. Dr. Moore led the Division of Academic Support, which encompasses the Education Transformation Office, Student Services, and the Office of School Improvement. He was instrumental in redesigning each area under his supervision, which significantly contributed to the Miami-Dade County School District becoming one of the nation's highest performing urban school districts. He's an expert in school turnaround and widely recognized for that expertise. He was appointed as principal of a large high school for years and was instrumental in moving the school to an A status. He was inducted into the Miami-Dade College Alumni Hall of Fame in 2019 for his work in education, supporting unrepresented students, and ensuring post-secondary success. As a lifelong resident of Miami, and he's a Florida State fan, thank goodness, he resides here in Indian River County now with his wife Jennifer. And Dr. Moore, thank you and welcome here again today, and we appreciate everything you do.
You just said, here's Dr. Moore. Thank you, and thank all of our county commissioners. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to celebrate all of our hard work, all of our students' hard work. And you're celebrating student athletes, but these students, as a result of their dedication, their determination, their grit, their perseverance, we as a county have a great deal to celebrate. We celebrate some excellent academic outcomes. We are the one of 4 districts that are in a better place today academically than we were before the pandemic. So think of those challenges, those obstacles. We're in a better academic place today. That's what our students are doing in classrooms. Last year, we had the 4th highest rate of growth of all of the 67 districts in the state of Florida. Keep in mind, 2 years ago, we had the highest rate of growth. So back-to-back rates of improvement. Our students, their hard work, are setting the example for all other counties. We're one of 4 districts in the state has been able to maintain a graduation rate of 95%. That's 2 years in a row that we've been able to do that. We've moved from 31 before the pandemic in state rankings in 3rd grade to number 7 in the state of Florida in 3rd grade. We are number 10 in 8th through 10th grade science. We're number 12 in biology. We continue to start to hit these top 10 rankings. And the reality is, it's because what these students do. So you taking the time to celebrate and acknowledge all of these educators, all of these students, I can't thank you enough. And you're acknowledging today our student athletes. But whether it is in the classroom, whether it's on the field, whether it's on the stage performing, whether it's playing an instrument, these students go above and beyond. And I said it yesterday during the delegation meeting, but I'll say it again. Indian River County is unique. Don't take for granted the volume of extracurricular activities and comprehensive sport programs that we offer. They are dying across the nation, but not here in Indian River County where they thrive. And that is a commitment by our board to continue to ensure not only do our students have everything they need in the classroom, they're provided a full comprehensive experience. Clubs, athletics, all of the traditional events that take place in high school that we all remember as part of who we are, we continue to offer. So thank you for celebrating not just these students. These students are signifying all students. From Fellsmere all the way to Indian River County, we strive to ensure that we provide an environment to serve each and every single student in our county. In Indian River County, our theme this year is it's the year of the team. And as we celebrate our students, I want to acknowledge those who stand in front of them. Our teachers, our principals, their success, their hard work is a major reason that we see some of these academic outcomes. So I would acknowledge some of my team members who are here today. Our deputy superintendent, I'm going to say their university, we don't have little sparkles and things that fly, but from Troy University, Mr. Scott Bass. Woo! Yeah, you can't miss him. He's in the back. Delaware State University Assistant Superintendent Eric Seymour. Our Chief Financial Officer, University of North Florida, Ron Fagan. There he is. Public Information Officer, University of Florida. I'm kidding, she deserves it. University of Florida, Kristen Maddox. And we do have our Director of Operations from Florida State University, Beth Christofoli, somewhere. And our school site staff, Principal Sebastian Senior High School from Florida Atlantic University, Chris Cummings. Shippensburg University, it's a place. Our Athletic Director, Sebastian, Amy Terry. Our brand new brand director at Sebastian, Jackson State University, Brandon Jenkins. He's probably out getting the kids ready. And Associate Director of Bands, Blake Horty, University of Georgia, also outside. And then Vero Beach, Principal Sean O'Keefe, University of Florida. Athletic Director, Lenny Jankowski, University of Central Florida. And Paige Howe, UNC Greensboro, Director of Bands. Thank you so much for doing this opportunity to celebrate our students and all who support our students. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. All right, well, I think it's time for the Sean O'Keefe was here. You did mention his name, right? There he is, right there. I thought it was, there he is. So bring your band in there, sir.
All right, here we come.
Your band and all your students that you're honoring today, but welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us here today. Proud Principal Sean O'Keefe, these last 12 years at Vero. We're happy to have our band with us today under the direction of Paige Howell and Associate Director Sean Shrigley. Our chorus, who you heard from earlier, under the direction of Laura Glunt. And I do have, while they're coming in,
They need to, they can come back right up back
yeah,
here.
you can come on
They need to.
double row here, guys. Right through
Here in the
row
back.
here. Bring the drums through here. There we go. Oh, if we can fit, maybe not. Tight squeeze. While I'm here, I'd just like to give a couple of plugs, if you don't mind. Our Crown Jewel Band Festival is Saturday the 14th in the Citrus Bowl. We're excited about that. Homecoming week is the week of the 16th with our homecoming parade through downtown this year on Thursday the 19th at 5 p.m. with our Grand Marshal, School Board Chair, Dr. Peggy Jones. And our game is Friday night, the 20th, as we take on Martin County. We're excited about those events coming up this month. And go Vero, and go Gators. I'd like to introduce our athletic director, Lenny Jankowski, to introduce our student athletes.
Well, first, I'd like to thank you all for having us here today and getting an opportunity to recognize. This is just a small sample size of our student athletes. We have over 60 athletic teams at Vero Beach High School between varsity and sub-varsity. Some people, when they hear that number, they realize how much and how busy these student athletes are. Their commitment is something that we brag about all the time, and I think I'd just like to emphasize, as most have done today, that the student and the student athlete piece is the part that really stands out. And so we have 8 of our student athletes here representing 6 different of our athletic teams, and I'd like to start with one of our girls lacrosse. These are all seniors, all have aspirations of going on and participating and continuing their college careers. And I'd like to start with one of our girls lacrosse players, and her name is Bryce Forrest. And there's Bryce there, and she's an exceptional student, a great athlete, a great ambassador to our school. These guys and girls are all great ambassadors to our school. And Bryce recently committed to Florida Tech to play girls lacrosse and continue her college education. I'm one of those old school guys that still believe and love the multi-sport athlete. And the next one that we have here is, I really like her name, Cameron Reed. She likes to be called Cam Reed, but Cam is an exceptional athlete. She's on our girls basketball team and excels in track as well, and recently has been offered a scholarship to Florida International University in Miami. So that next is Cam Reed. Next, we have one of our baseball players. His name is Chase Wilson. Chase is enjoying the recruiting process as we speak. He's going to do very well at the next level. He's one of our senior baseball players. So for those baseball fans, need to come check out our baseball team this spring. We've got an exceptional program, and Chase is one of those leaders, and will obviously have a great senior year and continue on after his senior year and enjoy this recruiting process as we're going through it. So that's Chase Wilson, one of our baseball players. Next, we have another exceptional student athlete. Her name is Kalani Wright, and she represents our girls soccer program. Kalani is also enjoying the recruiting process. She plans on attending medical school. Her first choice right now is Howard University, but she's leaving her options open, and like I said, will enjoy the recruiting process and continue her education career in the pre-med field. So very proud of Kalani. Next in line, we have Xavion Tutu Griffin. He prefers Tutu. Tutu's one of our football players. Recently committed to Western Kentucky University, has multiple scholarship offers, and he's a great player, wears number 7. So for those of you who come to football games, check out number 7. He's a lot of fun to watch. Next in line, we have Kevin Pollock. Kevin most recently committed to West Point and will be continuing his football and education career, and obviously serving our country at the U.S. Army West Point. He took a visit this summer, and they're very excited about Kevin, as they should be. He's been a leader of our team, 3-year starter, and in addition to being a great player, a great kid, and a great student. So next is Kevin Pollock. Next, we have Isaiah Roberts. Isaiah has been offered multiple scholarships. He's, again, going through the recruiting process, one of our seniors and one of our leaders on our football team. He wears number 1, plays multiple positions, and Isaiah Roberts is next in line there. And anchoring out this crew, saving the largest for the last, one of our leaders on our offensive line, again, has been offered multiple Division I football scholarships. We'll see where he ends up. He plays on our offensive line, is also a multi-year starter. His name is Chase Stevens. So there's Chase. So as I mentioned, we've got six sports represented here. It's a small sample size. We've got incredible student athletes. They make us proud each and every day, on and off the field, in and out of the classroom. They're just a lot of fun to be around, and we're very, very proud and appreciate all of your support at our games, on the field, on the court, in the pool, everywhere that these guys and girls participate. So again, very proud of our community and obviously proud of our school and all that we get done on a day-to-day basis. So thank you guys for having us here. And we will, I guess, exit. Bryce is going to lead us out, right?
Go that way. They want them to go that
Which
way,
way?
I think.
Okay,
To the
sure.
right.
We'll come out this way. All right, Chase is going to lead us out.
Thank you, guys. Good luck. All right, next, it wouldn't be complete. We have a special proclamation to read. I know a lot of you in here attended Vero Beach High School football games for many years. And if you always remember, over in the visitor side, facing the cement grandstands where all the Vero Beach fans sat, that anytime Vero Beach did a good thing like scored a touchdown or kicked a field goal, you heard a very large horn. Well, that was done by Mr. Perry Morgan. Perry recently passed away, and we thought it appropriate to honor Mr. Morgan. And Commissioner Moss is going to read a proclamation, and then Commissioner Fleischer and a relative of Mr. Morgan are going to do a special honor. So Commissioner Moss.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, as Dr. Moore said, this is the year of the team. And Mr. Morgan really truly was the embodiment of team spirit. I mean, he attended every game, whether it was home or away, and totally supported the team. It was, I want to extend our condolences to the family. I did attend the funeral last summer at St. Peter's Missionary Baptist Church. The church was packed, absolutely packed. I mean, he was a man who was well-loved, both on the field and off the field. And, in his honor and in celebration of his life, honestly, I would invite everyone to be a member of the team in whatever way. Think about the way that he found to be part of the team, going to every game and blowing that horn. But honestly, everyone can find a way. And on our new website, which is indianriver.gov, we have children's services listed. There are many, many organizations, nonprofits that we support throughout the county. And if you want to be part of the team, as Dr. Moore says, and encourage our young people, I invite you to look at that and take a look at the different nonprofits. And maybe there's a love there that you'll find the way Mr. Morgan found his love. But I'd like to invite the family to come forward. We have Mrs. Perry Morgan here today, Linda Morgan, his daughter, and Tyrell Morgan, his nephew, who actually can blow the horn. Thank you to Vero Beach High School for loaning us the horn for today to honor the horn man. And I'm going to read the proclamation now, and thank you for this honor, Mr. Chair. Proclamation honoring Perry Morgan. Whereas Perry Morgan was a stalwart supporter of Vero Beach High School athletics, and whereas Mr. Morgan offered constant encouragement to our young athletes, blowing the horn at Fighting Indian football games over many decades, and whereas his devotion to our youth led him to travel to the away games, and whereas he became known as the Horn Man to friends and foes of the Fighting Indians, and whereas Vero Beach High School athletes and fans alike looked forward to his presence and his blowing the horn, and whereas his legacy will live on through his son, Perry Morgan Jr., and Mr. Tyrell Morgan. Thank you for being here. Now therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the memory of Mr. Perry Morgan and his long dedication to our young athletes be celebrated on October 3rd, 2023, the second annual game day, when all residents are encouraged to recognize the many accomplishments of our young athletes and scholars. Adopted this third day of October, 2023, Board of County Commissioners, Indian River County, Florida, and signed by all 5 county commissioners. And I thank you so much for being here, and I invite the family, Linda, to speak, and whoever else from the family would like to speak, and God bless, and thank you.
Thank you, all commissioners. I just want to say thank you very much for this proclamation on behalf of my dad, Perry Morgan. He was a very mild-mannered man. He was a very humble man. He was truly dedicated to 4 things, at least. His God, family, the Dallas Cowboys, any Cowboy fans? And Vero Beach High School football. The horn was his idea and one that he stuck with until the end of his life. He himself would not even want this recognition. However, I am so thankful that the Indian River County Board of County Commissioners and Laura Moss thought it befitting to recognize him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Fleischer, you and Tyrone have
We have,
some special.
we do have the horn. I'll say, Linda, your dad may not have wanted that, but he certainly heard it.
I think so.
Well, you all know I'm hard of hearing. I'm glad y'all can join me now.
What'd you say?
Now I am too, sir.
All right, great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Linda, who's ever able from the family can come down to receive the proclamation and
Yeah, come
for a
up and
photo.
get your picture. Yep. Kathy, you want to let's get a picture? Linda, y'all talk to me right here.
Hey, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Y'all didn't want to be in the picture?
Thank you. All right, moving on. Thank you so much. That was great. Well deserved. As I said, if you've ever been to a Vero Beach High School football game in the last 20-something odd years, you heard that horn quite a bit. So that's awesome. All right, Moving on, I think it's now time for the Sebastian River High School Band to enter the premises. And with that, also, we'll have Principal Chris Cummings come forward to introduce all his folks. I see him over there. Principal Cummings, welcome.
Thank you to the Board of Commissioners for having us here. Thank you, everyone that thought it not robbery to come out and celebrate with us, our wonderful and amazing students from Sebastian River High School. We're so excited of the hard work and the dedication that these students perform on a daily basis. We're excited about the impact that they are making now and the impact that they are to make in the future. And it's an amazing feeling to be a part of this great journey with Sebastian River High School. At this time, are we going to play something else? Yes, sir. Led by our Director of Bands, Mr. Brandon Jenkins, the pride of Sebastian River High School, the Marching Sharks. Now that's what it means when we say, you can't hide that sharp pride. Give them another hand, please. Again, thank you for coming out. I do want to recognize Sebastian River High School staff and coaches. If you're in the building, just raise your hand. Thank you. And now I would like to introduce our wonderful athletic director, Coach Terry Amy, who's going to recognize our wonderful student athletes.
Thank you for having us here. We'd like to thank you and Indian River County Commissioners and Dr. Moore and the school board for organizing another fabulous college game day. It's an honor and privilege to be able to recognize some very deserving Sebastian River High School students. I'm just going to go alphabetically with our kids. We have some amazing kids. Our first student is Ava Anderson. She is in weightlifting, softball, and NJROTC. She's a dual enrollment student and is heavily involved with 4-H. She holds the leadership role of the cadet commanding officer in NJROTC, and her goal is to attend the School for Animal Science at either Auburn or Mississippi while staying involved with the Army ROTC.
Good job, Ava.
Our next athlete is Joseph Butler. He's our football, track, and field. He does the pole jump. He's currently undecided where he would like to attend college, but he would like to continue playing football at the next level, and that's Joseph Butler. Our next one is Jace Domster. He's in swimming. He's a member of the National Honor Society and the Excel Club. He also competes with the Treasure Coast Swimming Club. And Jace was a 2022 FHSAA state qualifier and part of the state medalist relay team in swimming. And his goal is to study computer science at a university in Florida. Our next young lady is Lorianne Feliciana Cruz. She was on cross country. She was the senior class president. She's the vice president of Interact Club and executive director of the FBLA. She's also a member of Masterminds, National Honor Society, and Encores. She created an on-campus nonprofit called I Be There For You and is in the Vero Beach Theater Guild for the production of The Addams Family. Her goal is to attend the University of Florida with a major in biology and a minor in business. Our next young man is Robert Fino. He's on the bowling and tennis teams. He's the captain of the bowling team, and he will attend IRSC for 2 years before hopefully transferring to the University of Central Florida to major in sports broadcasting. Our next young lady is Mia Harrell. She's on the swimming and lacrosse team. Mia is the senior class vice president. She's also a member of the National Honor Society as the historian. She's the vice president of FBLA, where she qualified for states in the 2022 for economics. She's also a member of the Student Advisory Council and the Pickleball Club. She volunteers and is a junior member for karate school, and her goal is to attend Florida State University Honors Program for clinical practices and then attend MD or PA school. Our next young man is Keenan Matthews. He's on the basketball and track and field team. He's a member of the National Honor Society and is also employed as a student tech on campus. Keenan attends the church at Allen Chapel AME. He plans to continue playing basketball at college while studying mechanical engineering. Our next young lady is Ava Ray. She's a member of our volleyball team. Ava is a member of the National Honor Society, Excel Club, and FBLA. She's involved with the Vero Elite Volleyball Club and helps in the nursery for Riverside Church. Ava's goal is to attend the University of South Florida for neonatology. That was a tongue twister. Our last athlete is Bailey Walker. She's on the lacrosse team. She's also our pickleball club creator. Bailey is in the top 10% of her graduating class and is part of the University of Florida dual enrollment program. She's a member of the National Honor Society, National Technical Honor Society, and Prom Committee. Bailey is a Bright Future Scholar recipient and Rural Small Town Scholar, and she'll be attending Kaiser University on a lacrosse scholarship to study international business. And then Mr. Jenkins is going to come up. He has some band members that he would like to recognize as well.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh, we can do better than that. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm excited. If you can't tell, our day started with a 6:50 a.m. rehearsal. And so we got the juices flowing very early, and we are still going strong. Isn't that right, students? Yeah. We're excited. Okay. So listen, it gives me great privilege. My name is Brandon Jenkins, by the way. I am the director of bands at Sebastian River High School. And I have two fantastic associates, Mr. Blake Horday and Mr. Doug Mosier, who are at school herding the cats as we are here with you today. But we are so excited, and it just gives me great privilege to discuss a few of our outstanding band seniors. So without further ado, Mr. Zachary Cavill. Yes, please, let's give him a round of applause. Zach is a drum major. He's a member of the Steel Pan Ensemble and Jazz Band, where he has a lot of fun, 7th period every day. He is an IB student and a member of the National Honor Society. Zachary also works at Publix, so he has a very important job. His goal is to attend the University of Central Florida for mechanical engineering, and I would like to say Zach brought me his acceptance letter a couple of weeks ago, and I have just been ecstatic about that young man. So please help me celebrate Zach. Our next outstanding young man is Chris Cherries. Let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Cherries, he's our band captain, and he plays tennis. So he has lots and lots of energy. He is in the National Honor Society, FBLA, and a percussionist in the Marching Sharks and the Pride of Sebastian River High School. Chris's goal is to attend the University of Florida for engineering. Let's give that outstanding young man a round of applause. Our next young man is Ace McLean. Ace is an outstanding student. He's in percussion leadership. Ace also plays tennis. He's the senior class treasurer, executive director of the Chapter for Excellence for FBLA, National Honor Society president, and a part of the jazz band. He works at Jersey Mike's, another very important, I'm sorry, Jersey Mike's does all right, okay? And he's also an instructor in math. All right, say that again for the people, man. Okay, good, because he did that a lot better than I would. Okay, he plans to attend the University of Florida and for mechanical engineering. And I will have an honorable mention that Ace is an outstanding dancer. He is an outstanding dancer. Okay, our next outstanding individual is Miss Junibel Pensia. Say that again for me, sweetheart. Pacencia. Fixed. There it is. And it's never an issue again. There it is. All right. She is a clarinet section leader, and she plays lacrosse. She's very tough. Okay. And she is the vice president of FBLA, the senior class secretary, and also the senior class secretary. She is also involved with peer-to-peer. That's fantastic, Junibel. Her goal is to attend the University of Central Florida to study journalism. That's fantastic. Please, let's give her a round of applause. Last and certainly not least, Ethan Payment. Let's give him a round of applause. Yes, sir. Ethan is our band lieutenant. He runs cross country. He runs in track and field. And we both share a love for aviation. The both of us. He's going to get closer than I would, though, I can tell you that. Ethan is a soloist for the Pride of Sebastian River, and he's also a member of the Marching Sharks. And he's a member of the National Honor Society and the Excel Club. He has held down 2, not 1, but 2 jobs in window tinting and aircraft maintenance. I told you. Ethan's goal is to attend the Air Force Academy for mechanical engineering. And he's gonna do it. That young man is gonna be successful. Help me give a round of applause for our outstanding band seniors. If you can't tell, I am peacock proud and hyena happy for my students, and we are just so excited. I just want to leave you with that. Thank you so much. If I could just make an amendment to that, Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Cherries and Mr. McLean, just this past week I was notified that these 2 individuals, National Merit Commended individuals. Congratulations.
Once again, we'd like to thank everybody for the support of these amazing students. We do have a reminder, our homecoming week kicks off next week. On the 10th, we have our parade that starts at 6 p.m. And on the 13th, we have our homecoming game that's at 7 o'clock. So we'd like to see everybody there.
That is really awesome. Thank you so much. And we'd like to have as many of the students stay as they can if they get back to school, especially the ones that have been recognized, if they can stay, because we've got 2 speakers I want y'all to listen to coming up right after y'all. But Sebastian, you were awesome, and thanks so much. With that, give us a grand exit, band, and then we're going to move on to the rest of the program. But thank you so much. Large band, but they're not to go and recognize because they're such a valuable group of students in a great school here in Indian River County. We want to start next with the recognition. Is Eileen Plisky here? Eileen, I didn't see you. There you are, right there. Eileen, welcome. We have to recognize St. Edward's School, and they're one of their top athletes and scholars that are going off to college. So Eileen, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Indian River County Commission. My name is Eileen Plisky. I'm the new athletic director at St. Edward's School, right across the river there. And I am new to Indian River County. I'm new to Vero Beach. Moved here on May 31st, and coming from Broward County. And when I tell you, you all know how to do it up here. This is impressive. I was a member of a school down in Broward County since 2006, and I've never been a part of anything like this. So thank you for having us. We at St. Edward's are a small, as I described my mom, we're my 86-year-old mother from Brooklyn. We're tiny but mighty over there on the other side, and we are very grateful to be included in this. So thank you. We have an enrollment of 652. Pre-K through 12, so it kind of gives you a perspective on the size of our school compared to the 2 county public schools that you've had here today. But having said that, what a a demonstration of what the whole child is about, which is what we're about at St. Edward's. The fine arts of the band and the chorus from Vero Beach High School and the athleticism that we see here on display is about the whole child on all of our schools here. So thank you so much for including us in this. We are very honored to have R1, a National Letter of Intent recipient this year, Alexandra Stern, who is committed to the U, as you see, and I have the honor of having her coach, Steve Fenning, with me to talk about her and her accomplishments and why she stands before you today. So thank you.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate the offer. I have a little laryngitis from the weekend. I first started coaching at St. Edward's in 1988, and Alexandra came along in 2000, to me, in 2016, 17, and she was in the 6th grade when she started swimming for St. Edward's, and by the 8th grade, she had qualified for her first state championship in 2 events. And then within a year, she was in the top 8 at the state championships in her 2 events. She'd been a perennial district champion and regional champion and runner-up over the last 5 years. Her first year in the state meet, as I said, was 2019. And this will be her 5th year. And for me, it's been a pleasure to work with her. And I certainly appreciate you honoring her in front of her parents and her peers. Thank you very much.
Where's the parent? Stand up.
One last note, we have a meet today with Sebastian and Vero Beach at North County Aquatic Center.
All right, next to inspire us all are a couple of legends here in our county and Treasure Coast area. And first, we're going to hear a few words of wisdom and inspiration from a good friend of all the Board of Commissioners, Mr. Rick Hatcher. So, let me tell you a little bit about Rick. Not only is he a friend of mine, a friend of ours, Rick is currently the president and CEO of Play Treasure Coast Sports Tourism Office, formerly Treasure Coast Sports Commission. He was inducted into the Sports Events and Tourism Association Hall of Fame this year for his outstanding leadership and service to the sports tourism industry. As president and CEO of Play Treasure Coast Sports Tourism, Rick oversees marketing, promoting and recruiting of sporting events that enhance the economic impact and growth of Indian River, St. Lucie, and Martin counties. Rick attended Florida State University. From 1979 to 1981, where he was a pitcher for the Seminoles baseball team. Rick played for the Seminoles in 1979 when the Dick Hauser was the head coach of FSU. Rick also played for legendary coach Mike Martin in 80 and 81, and while playing at FSU, Rick started the opening game of the 1980 College World Series in Omaha. So, after completing his collegiate career at FSU, Rick signed with the Atlanta Braves in 1981. Rick played for 3 seasons in the minor league system for the Braves, and in 1982, while playing for the historic Durham Bulls, Rick threw the first perfect game ever in the history of the Durham Bulls. I'm going to stop here just a second. I'm going to finish reading, but I have to make this comment that I'm a sports guy, obviously. I played baseball growing up, played baseball in high school for Vero Beach High School, known a lot of athletes, been to all the Dodger games here, been to many baseball games, college and pro. And one thing I have never met, and I didn't know this, and I've known Rick for years, I didn't know this till I read his bio, but I've never met anybody that throws a perfect game. Commissioner Fleischer, do you know what a perfect game is, sir? Turn your mic on. Turn your mic on.
If he's playing it, it's got to be perfect.
This is.
Now, yes, I do. There's only been 24 of them in the history of Major League Baseball. We can go back to Sandy Koufax. We can go back to Cy Young. I know none of us were around during those games, but most recently, and I'm proud to say that it was a New York Yankee. I had to get it in there. Domingo Hernan on June 28th of 2023 threw a perfect game, 99 pitches. And that was the last one, only one of 24 in the history of Major League Baseball.
All right. Everybody knows that's no runs, no hits, no errors, no walks, and 27 batters got up and 27 batters got out. So
I return the favor.
So I just want to say, outstanding.
Do you know the longest perfect game?
No.
Cy Young. That's why they have the Cy Young Award. 45. Sorry about your bad luck. 45 times.
All right, awesome.
45 innings.
But I have never met one, so I thought that's pretty neat. But prior to Rick's current role as president of Place Treasure Coast Sports Tourism, he served as a pitching coach for the University of Tennessee from 1990 to 1992, Georgia Tech in 93, 94, and then the University of South Carolina in 1996. He was recently elected as president of the Florida Sports Hall of Fame, which honors Florida's greatest sports figures and events and promotes fitness awareness and education and sports activities among the state's youth and adults. Rick, my friend, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for those accolades and recognition for it. And I will clarify, go on record, as part of I would love to have been part of that elite group, Commissioner Fleischer, that you mentioned, but I'm nowhere in the category or Cy Young or any of those were the major league players. I was a minor leaguer, but I still did it. And so that's what it was about. And so, but again, thank you for the opportunity. Congratulations to all the students, the student athletes that were honored here today, that was recognized. Tremendous feat. I tell you, Indian River County, you set the bar, as what the new athletic director from St. Ed's said. And when I had an opportunity to Commissioner reached out and said, just come in and say a few words of encouragement for student athletes and coach them up. And the thing about it is, in coaching the profession I enjoyed when I was coaching at Georgia Tech or Tennessee or South Carolina or playing at Florida State or being around kids, I still go out early. We have a good friend of mine that now lives here in Vero Beach that was here last year, Jim Morris, who used to be the baseball coach at the University of Miami. He was my pitching coach at Florida State, even though he says he never coached at Florida State, but for 2 years he was my pitching coach there. But he lives here in Vero and loves it, and he's got a son that goes to St. Ed's. But, and looking at this, if I could, words of encouragement for these student athletes is, number one, be thankful to their parents for allowing them and taking them to practices, get them to wherever they're going. Your grandparents, it could be single parents, represent and your family whenever they go off to school. Secondly, make sure they give thanks to their teachers at their schools, because they're the ones that set the examples for what we hope they're going to lead and represent when they do leave here, and the coaches that provided the moral guidance for everybody that plays underneath. Because without rules and discipline, sometimes I consider it a little bit too lax, but I'm an old school guy. But again, that's important. But what all those individuals, their parents, the teachers, the coaches, the administrators, they have provided the opportunities for these students and student athletes. And I know as a student athlete at Florida State, my senior year, I thought I had a pretty good career, was told I was going to get drafted in first 10 rounds, so I sat by the phone, never rang. Okay, you're going to go in the next day. Sat by the phone, never rang. Third day, no options. And then finally, Coach Martin called me and said, Rick, do you still want to play baseball? And I said, yes. Always looking at these opportunities, you never know where they're going to come from. He said, pack your stuff up in your car and drive to Bradenton, Florida. You got to try out with the Atlanta Braves. I said, great. So I went down there. I threw in a bullpen, and the guy that was making the decisions to sign me or not was he had a little bit of knowledge of baseball, but it was Hank Aaron. Wow. Exactly. And so I'm sitting there and nervous to go through it and everything, but then he says, okay, do you still want to play? I said, yeah. He said, we'll sign you. I said, okay. I said, where do you want me to go? And what do you mean? You need to go back? No, I've got everything in my car. I was there. So always be prepared. That would be another thing if I can employ about these student athletes. You never know when the opportunities are going to present themselves, and to always be ready. And one of the things that Bobby Bowden, when I heard him speak one time at Florida State, he said, never know when you're going to make the first impression. You don't control that first impression. So every time you meet somebody, whether it's the second time, the third time, or the fourth, you don't know what their impression. So always treat it like it was the first time you met somebody. And I've always remembered and learned that. And what Hank Aaron was able to provide me and then lead me down the road to a professional career and then to a high school baseball coach, a college baseball coach. And as I sit here and still watch baseball, and we go out to Jackie Robinson and watch all the camps that they do there and watch these kids, the coach being coach, I go out early. Games mean nothing to me. I would rather go watch a kid 2 hours before game time to see what his demeanor is, how he gets himself prepared, because that tells me then what kind of player he's going to be. Is he going to be the one that's getting there and puts in the time and the effort that everybody is going to, he's making himself better? Or is he going to be that guy, I'm cool, but I'm going to wait till the lights come on before you really see what you get? I want that first time. He's going to be the first one to practice and the last one to leave. I was fortunate enough when I coached at Georgia Tech to coach a guy named Jason Veritek. Jason was an all-time, all-American, all-world catcher at Georgia Tech. He was 2-time first-round draft picks. He was always at baseball practice at Georgia Tech 1 hour before that. We got started and stayed an hour and a half afterwards, because I would always have to throw. I know how long he stayed because I had to stay with him. But his work demeanor just embodies what it's like to be, in my opinion, a student athlete. So I hope all the student athletes here that's recognized, and even the ones that are underclassmen this year, they take that knowledge and don't think it's not earned, but yet it is earned to keep getting it. So that would just be my little bit of words of encouragement to all of our student athletes here. And again, go back to be thankful, number one, to the Lord, thankful for number two, the parents and grandparents or single parents, but more importantly, the administrators, the teachers and coaches that we are so fortunate and they are so fortunate to have. So that's my words of encouragement. That's what Coach Erman said, coach them up. And so I hadn't had that opportunity to share that in a long time, but so thank you for that opportunity.
All right, our next speaker really needs no introduction as a Indian River County resident. He probably is considered a landmark of Indian River County because he grew up here pretty much. And he still lives here today, and most of his family is still here. But I'd like to introduce Gary Parrish. Gary is a longtime Vero Beach resident and a 1969 graduate of Vero Beach High School. Gary played football, basketball, baseball, and ran track for Vero Beach High School for 4 years, and was Vero Beach High School's 1969 Athlete of the Year. Gary had over 40 scholarship offers to play football and chose to play for Florida State University. Gary played tight end for FSU and was chosen honorable mention All-American in 1973. He was drafted by the San Diego Chargers in 1973, where he played for 2 years, then played 5 years with the Cleveland Browns and 2 with the St. Louis Cardinals. In 2000, Gary was chosen Athlete of the Century for Indian River County. He is currently coaching offense for the Vero Beach High School Junior Varsity. He has also broadcast the Vero Beach High School games for 41 years and is the color analyst and been the color analyst for UCF football for 29 years. Gary formerly worked in the citrus industry and served on the Vero Beach City Council for 2 years. He still lives in Vero Beach with his bride, Bobby, his wife of 54 years, and is involved with Genesis Church, where he serves as a deacon. I would tell you, I was a young man. I was 10 years old when Gary was playing for Vero Beach High School, but I can remember going to the games and watching him. And I think there was even people before him that were athletes, but I think he was the first athlete from Vero Beach High School to make it to the big leagues. And but he's the same guy. He's the same guy I knew as a young kid. He's the same guy that I got to play softball against in the men's softball league and tournaments when he came back. And I've got to know his sons, Matt and GT, and Heather, his daughter, very well. It's such a great family and a great person. And welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very humbled about that because you'd always say, you don't talk enough about your past. Well, I don't. Because I live for today, and I am so grateful to have a beautiful family and be part of a beautiful community and to have grown up here. When I retired, I could have gone any other place I wanted to. I had opportunities to go into coaching. I had opportunities to go into other businesses and marketing. I wanted to bring my family up in Indian River County. I believed in this county, and I still do. And I want to thank you guys for your tribute to student athletes, having a game day, putting this together, having these schools come from the 3 different schools we have represented here today. That's outstanding. Thank you. The student athletes need to be recognized. We've been through a tough time, and they need the love and support of our community. And I just thank you guys. And Mr. Chairman, you too, or Mr. Administrator, you too for putting this all together and making this happen for these athletes. Today, they're not here, a lot of them today left, but they will never forget this opportunity they had to stand before you and the county commissioners and to be recognized for their student athletics and their achievement in school and as athletes. I can remember getting that opportunity with all these scholarships. The funniest one of all was when Notre Dame came down and sent a Monsignor from Miami to invite me to go to, offer me Notre Dame. I'm Baptist. And I go, whoa, I don't know if that's like oil and water. Does that work? And I'm used to the sun. I'm not used to that snow and everything up there. So I graciously thanked him and said no. I originally was committed to the University of Florida when I was a sophomore. I committed there, but as you go along, those opportunities kept coming, and I chose Florida State. Again, I was so grateful and thankful for the people at Florida State to give me an opportunity to be a student athlete at that university. I know how hard it is when you have my mother, there was a single mom. She had 6 children. She worked 2 jobs to keep us going. And I knew the only way that I would ever get out of Vero Beach and go to college was through athletics. So you saw a bunch of athletes today that were very dedicated to their sport. Very dedicated. And that's what part of it. What Rick said is the commitment to become an athlete, a student athlete, is so hard. You have to lift, you have to condition, you have to be the best athlete you possibly can. And a lot of it's a mental attitude adjustment as a player. I coach in the JV level right now. I have fun. I'm having fun. I'm going out there and I'm teaching kids what somebody taught me over my career, and I'm sharing it with them, and I'm enjoying watching their success. To watch these young guys achieve and do things that they started out they didn't think they could do, but they started believing. And when you believe, you can achieve. And I just think this is a great opportunity for a young man now and a young woman in our community to be able to excel in sports and in athletics. I share a story with you. There's the good and there's the bad. When I was with the Cleveland Browns, we were playing on Monday night television. We were playing against the New England Patriots. They were big, favored to beat us. They were like, in an NFL, you don't see 14-point spreads a lot, or 17 points. Well, they were like, I think, 21 points favored to beat us. We weren't as good a team as we had been in the past. But we went in that game with an attitude, okay, we're gonna work hard. And I was on special teams at the time, and we were down about 17 points at halftime. And I remember Sam Rutigliano was the head coach, and he yells, all right, give me the second unit in the game. We might as well go. Give me Sipe, the quarterback. Parrish, you're at tight end. Dave, you guys are going in the game to play. I'm excited. I mean, here I am. Monday night television. Back then, we didn't have all that where you get TV, every channel gets a football game. It was Monday night. That was the big thing across the country. And I was going to be on TV. And I was excited. So we go out there at halftime, and first drive, we call a running play, and I just block, and Greg Pruitt, running back, goes about 20 yards right beside me. And I go, all right, man, this is good. We run another running play, another 10 yards. Then Sipe was really getting comfortable, and he goes, we're going to call a pass play. I said, all right, whoa, wait a minute. He calls a pass play. That means I got to go down and do this and do that. And I've done it 1,000 times. Will I do it in this game? Can I do it in this game? So he calls the play. I break out. I look down. I see the safety. I make a little move, and I go to the right. Whoo! I look up, and there's the ball right there. I caught it, and I was like, oh, my goodness. I tucked it and went 26 yards for a touchdown. And it was my first touchdown in the NFL. And I didn't know that I could do that, and I did. And I didn't even know how to spike the ball. Everybody spiked the ball. I didn't know how to spike a ball. I threw it down. That was an achievement. That was a thrill of my life. That's what you live for. Then you have those days where you don't have a good one. We were playing in Cleveland again. They had a snowstorm come through, dropped about 8-10 inches of snow on the city. Then we had an Arctic freeze come in behind it off the lake. Everything was frozen. It was a terrible cold. The temperature was 2 degrees. Wind chill was like minus 14 or 15. And I'm like, here I am. I knew there's a reason why I didn't like Cleveland. And this is like, so we're playing the Minnesota Vikings, and we're just getting whipped. I mean, those guys are farther north than we are. So they're used to playing like that. We weren't. At least I wasn't. And so we got beat really, really bad. And so the game was over, and fans were booing us and stuff like that. And there was so much snow that they had to let the fans out one section. They walked in front of us, and then we would go into our tunnel. So here we go. We're running off the field. I'm getting out of here. I just wanted to get out of that. I was so cold. We got beat pretty bad. I just wanted to get off the field. I'm running along, and there's this sheet of ice, and here comes a little old lady walking like this because of the ice, and I can't stop. I hit her. I knocked her into a bank of snow. And the snow, and I went, oh my God, I killed her. I can see what's going to happen tomorrow. Brown's tight end kills little old lady coming across. Oh, so I reach in, I grab her out, I pick her, kind of slide her up, dust her off, and I said, ma'am, I am so sorry. Would you please forgive me, please? She says, you ought to be sorry, you big brute. I'm the only person you've knocked down all day. So, with the good comes the bad. But today, you guys gave these student athletes a great, great opportunity to know that this county supports the student athlete. And from the bottom of my heart, and I know most all of you up here, thank you very much for recognizing these student athletes, and thank you for being here and supporting them. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. Well, fans, that kind of ends game day, but I'd be remiss if I didn't thank a few people. And I want to thank former Commissioner Peter O'Brien. This was his idea last year, and it was such well received by the employees and the staff that I decided to do it again. But I want to thank Commissioner Adams and especially her aide, Kim Morano. And I want to thank Commissioner Moss and especially Natalie Novak. Natalie was in charge of getting the food for us out there. That'll be out there today for the food trucks. That'll be out there having game day stuff. I want to thank Commissioner Lahr and Morris Stokes, his aide. Thanks so much. And Commissioner Flesher and our newest assistant, Ashley Brown, for all her effort for this. Mr. Administrator, I appreciate your going along with this and doing this. I appreciate Mike. And I want to appreciate the county attorney for being a part of this. And of course, Beth Powell and Gustavo and Kathy Copeland and all those folks for helping out. And of course, our utilities and interim director of public works, Sean Blisky, and all our facilities people for helping set this up and clean up all the confetti and stuff like that today. And of course, I know he had to leave. He's got a busy day, but Dr. Moore and Kristen Maddox from the school district office, and of course, our sponsors that helped us out today do some stuff. Deb Perez, Waste Management, and her crew. Thanks, Deb. I want to thank Rochelle Madrigal and Jeff Biddle. I don't think they could be here, but for their efforts. And Bill Penny and Joe Coakley from Marine Bank for all they do. So with that, game day has now come to a conclusion. It's still game day throughout the county. We're going to take like a 15-minute break and help clean up stuff and then move on with the rest of the meeting, unless anybody else has got anything to say. All right, thank you. We'll be back in 15.
I don't know.
All right, everybody, we're going to reconvene the meeting, Board of County Commissioners. I want to thank everybody for game day, and when I was thanking everybody, I forgot to mention two people. Forgot to mention my assistant, Lisa Plesnarski, and all her help. And I forgot to mention that I don't care what kind of fan you were for game day, by far, because Himanshu didn't dress up like I thought he would, which was kind of disappointing today. But I got to say that the costume of the day goes to our vice chairman. Stand up, everybody. Say it.
Tell us about it.
So, most awesome. That's good. Says, you beat Himanshu out. He won it last year for sure.
This is.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah, what's that?
I really thought he was gonna paint
Might have
his
missed
face.
it. That was Himanshu last year.
Was slightly disappointed that he didn't.
I know, I told him
Was
that.
it held
I
on
was. That's what I said.
Halloween last
I
year?
was surprised.
Just did it. Went through the whole meeting that way.
All right, moving on to presentations and proclamation, recognition of Fire Prevention Week, October 8th through the 14th, 2023. This will be presented by Commissioner Fleischer, and here to accept is the Assistant Fire Chief of Fire Prevention and his team, Rich Marini, and I see some others. I see Chief Johnson and Chief Gibbons back there, among some others. So welcome, Rich. Commissioner Fleischer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and we might have lost one or two of our finest and bravest fire medics,
Turn this way, turn around this way. Then we turn back.
fire prevention specialists, experts in the field. Unfortunately, a couple had to go back to work, but we are pleased and honored to have you before us. Today was all about athletics, games, academics, and now it's about something very important as well, and that's prevention. And it's something that is not a game. It's a commitment, and thank you for your commitment to ensuring that our public is in safe hands and ensuring that they're aware, and I hope that we get a couple of tips today from somebody about fire prevention. With that, Mr. Chairman, it's my honor to present this proclamation in recognition of Fire Prevention Week, October 8th through the 14th, 2023. Whereas Indian River County Board of County Commissioners is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting in Indian River County. Whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the location where people are at the greatest risk from fire. Whereas cooking is the leading cause of the home fires in the United States, and fire departments responded to more than 166,400 annually between 2016 and 2020. Whereas children under 5 face a higher risk of non-fire burns associated with cooking that could be burned in a cooking fire. Whereas Indian River County residents should turn pot handles toward the back of the stove, always keep a lid nearby when cooking, keep a 3-foot kid-free zone around the stove, oven, and others things that could get hot, or watch that they are protected from heat, and set a timer to remind them that they are cooking. And whereas Indian River County first responders are dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fires injuries through the prevention and protection education. And whereas in 2023, Fire Prevention Week, cooking safety starts with you. Pay attention to fire prevention. Effectively serves to remind us to stay alert and use caution when cooking to reduce the risk of kitchen fires. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that we do hereby proclaim October 8th through the 14th, 2023 as Fire Prevention Week throughout the state. And I urge all people of Indian River County to check their kitchens for fire hazards and use safe cooking practices during Fire Prevention Week 2023, and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of Indian River County Fire Rescue. Duly adopted this third day of October 3rd, 2023, and it's signed by all 5 county commissioners. We join you, and thank you.
Good morning, and thank you very much. Kitchen safety is dear to my heart. My older sister, when she was at a friend's house, reached up at a pot of stove, boiling water in the stovetop, and pulled out and burnt her on her arm. So the safety tip of turning the pot handles around is really important. Another thing to remember is microwaves. People can get burnt by microwaves. My dear mom, awesome cook, she was heating up a jar of hot fudge. Didn't think anything of it. The jar actually wasn't microwave safe, did not know that. When she opened the microwave, it actually blew up and burnt her hands. So being safe in the kitchen is really important. We get busy in life, we got cell phones on our hips, or very active, and we have to make sure when the kids are around, we take an extra step and keep them safe. Bad things happen in the kitchen really fast. So my tips are, make sure you have your mittens, getting things out of the microwave, because they get hot, like popcorn. Make sure you have pot handle holders, and make sure you turn your pots away from the handles, away back to the stove so the kids won't get burnt. I want to thank the commission for supporting us in our public safety. I've been in prevention over 15 years now, and it's part of the fire department I really enjoy. Going out and meeting the children, the great community we live in, trying to make them safer. I've got an awesome team. It takes the whole office, from our staff assistants to our lieutenant inspectors, to go out there and do the tough job, because when the guys and the girls in the fire truck show up, we're helping somebody and they're happy to see us. Unfortunately, when my guys show up, sometimes it's not pleasant because it may cost them money to get something fixed. So I know they've got a tough job, but I want to accept this proclamation on behalf of Director Johnson, Chief Sean Gibbons, Chief Rattray, myself, and my prevention team. Thank you.
Chief, another way to, Mr. Chairman, another way to avoid a kitchen fire is stay out of the kitchen. And I heard that you do that very well.
Yes, I'm a grill guy. My wife keeps me out of the kitchen.
Yeah, let the
Stops the smoke
professionals
detectors
cook.
from going off in the house.
But, you know, we don't mention fire extinguishers, and every kitchen that I've ever had, always had one available nearby, within reach. And moving to Florida, we always had gas stoves, and then we went to electric. And there's a presumption that an electric stove is a whole lot safer, and that because it's a glass top, that there's no risk of fire, and that's incorrect. Correct, Chief?
Oh, definitely, yeah. People leave stuff on top of the stoves and forget, you know, they're off, and then they bumped it on, and paper burns, whatever's on top of the stove. So yeah, having a fire extinguisher in the kitchen is a great thing. I always tell people when I do the public ed talks, have one in your garage, because that's where you keep all the paint and everything you left over from your work on your house. Keep one in the kitchen. I said, if you put it on the sink, don't put it way in the back and push all the chemicals in front of it. Off to the side, if you have a pantry, it's good to hang on the wall. They're good for about 3 to 4 years, and then you can take them outside once you're done with them. They're the chemicals not hard to humidity, atmosphere, so you go outside and you can spray off the chemical, dump the extinguisher, and you can throw it in the trash or take it to recycle. You can't put it in there while it's under pressure. So about every 3 to 4 years, you can replace those. You can buy them for less than $20, and it's a great safety thing you have in your house. So 2 of them are great to have. And if you use it just once, even if you use it for 2 seconds, it's got to be replaced, because once you use it, there's a rubber seal in there. Once the chemical is past the seal, it will never seal tight, and you get moisture in there and you won't be able to use it. So that's a great thing to add, sir.
And if it gets beyond that fire extinguisher, what's that telephone number they call?
911.
911, and then you all come.
Even
Thank
if even if the community puts the fire out, the extinguisher, still call 911. We'll send a truck out, make sure the fire's out. We'll bring our infrared cameras, search the walls, make sure there's no heat pattern inside the wall that might have transferred from the fire on top of the stove. We don't go in there and tear big holes like we used to. And that's the fun part, but now we have the cameras, we can shine on the walls, and we do a lot less damage. So
Wow.
give us a call, and we'll come out and give you guys a hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, team.
Yep.
here. Here, I'll take one. There you go. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Negative. All right, next, moving on to 5D, and heck, you could put this in the game day theme almost. It's a presentation and proclamation in recognition of National 4-H Week, October 1st through the 7th, 2023. And this will be given by our Vice Chairman, Commissioner Adams, who is once a 4-H member herself.
I am a product of 4-H, so I don't know if that's a good reflection on 4-H, but we're going to assume it is, so come on down. All right, it's my pleasure to read a proclamation recognizing the week of October 1st through 7th, 2023 as National 4-H Week. Whereas 4-H is America's largest youth development organization, having supported almost 6 million youth across the country thus far. And whereas 4-H has helped 1,200 youth in Indian River County to become confident, independent, resilient, and compassionate leaders. And whereas 4-H is delivered by Cooperative Extension, a community of more than 100 public universities across the nation that provides experiences where young people learn by doing hands-on projects in areas including health, science, agriculture, and citizenship. And whereas National 4-H Week showcases the incredible experiences that 4-H offers young people and highlights the remarkable 4-H youth in Indian River County who work each day to make a positive impact on those around them. And whereas 4-H's network of 600,000 volunteers and 3,500 professionals provide caring and supportive mentoring to all 4-Hers, helping them to grow into true leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Now therefore be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Indian River County, Florida, that the board hereby recognizes October 1st through 7th, 2023 as National 4-H Week throughout Indian River County and encourages all of our citizens to recognize 4-H for the significant impact it has made and continues to make by empowering youth with the skills they need to lead for a lifetime. Adopted this third day of October, 2023, and signed by all 5 county commissioners. And I just want to say, a lot of people think 4-H is just about animals. And that is a big part of it. But my actual first experience in 4-H was Margaret Freeman, who had the Fellsmere Inn, had a 4-H sewing club. And so I learned to make pin cushions and other useful things in sewing club, and then moved on up to showing steers and things like that around the state. So I know you have a couple of youth with you, and I want to make sure you highlight their accomplishments because what they have been able to do is fantastic. But enough for me. Tell us about what you guys have going on with 4-H.
Thank you, everyone, for having us here today. We are so excited to be here, and I'm excited to announce that we do have 2 Indian River County 4-H members here with us today. They're going to share some of their experiences in the 4-H program. I do want to let you all know that 4-H is a youth development program, and it is actually the largest youth development program in the nation. So that's really exciting. Our goal is to help youth thrive and learn valuable life skills through hands-on learning, and that's not possible without our 4-H volunteers, teachers, the school district, our Board of County Commissioners, our county administrators. So I just want to say thank you so much for your support. We have some amazing and talented youth, as you saw earlier this morning. And these 2 gentlemen that I have with me today are amazing. They're talented. They are super active in the 4-H program, so I'm excited that they're here today. And I just want to say thank you so much again, and go Gators.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me, my brother, out here today. My name is Joseph Sempervivo. This is my 7th year in 4-H. I've shown animals for 6, and I've been on the state level for, this is my 3rd year, I think. I have done everything from executive board to which is the board that basically regulates 4-H on the state level. And then I've also done some events that regulate 4-H on the southeastern regionals, like from west to Texas, east to the Carolinas. I've been on that board as well. I think the 22nd of September, my brother and I, we went to the SRTLC, which is Southern Regional Teen Leadership Conference. And we represented the state of Florida, even better, Indian River County, the best county in the state. We represented all of us in Tennessee, and we were able to basically learn from other states, learn how their states work, and learn how we can better our states off of other states. There we learn about leadership, how to run committees better, how to engage our peers, and increase general learning wherever we go. After that, we went in June, I think it was, is 4-H state legislature, which is basically mock legislation. And I was on the executive board that planned that event. And what we did there was, I was a representative, and I basically role played as a representative throughout the week. I was at executive board, so we made some bills to get passed at legislature. We went to Tallahassee, and we, as I said before, we played the part, senators, representatives, and lobbyists. We also had a mock governor and a mock lieutenant governor. Then my brother, who also participated in those events, would like to provide his opinion.
Hello, everybody. My name is Giorgio Semprevivo. That was my brother. And I just wanted to say that 4-H has given me a lot of opportunities over time, and it has been extremely helpful teaching me life skills. One skill that my brother and I both learned was public speaking. I got to go on stage in front of 200 plus people to talk, and it was an extremely amazing opportunity. And also, we both got to experience legislator, and I got to be a lobbyist. I got to live the life of a lobbyist for a full day, or I mean, actually, 4 days. And it was an amazing experience because instead of being in a classroom with a textbook learning about all of this, I got to learn in real life. I got to have a speech from an actual lobbyist telling me about his life. And it was extremely interesting. And I also won the Chris Allen Award, which was this big award. But that little detail I wanted to add. And we also went to 4-HU together, my brother and I. And we got to learn about the voting process. And once again, instead of being in a classroom, we got to learn this in real life. And it was an amazing opportunity. We got to learn, we had hands-on experiences with a whole bunch of different processes. But I'm just really excited that 4-H is an opportunity that we both get to be a part of. And I wanted to thank all of you for your time in caring for 4-H. And I want to thank you.
I also just want to say thank you so much for everything you do for our county 4-H.
Thank you. Hey, are you guys doing the speaking competition again this year?
Yes, we are. I'm hoping to expand that. Last year we had 2 more schools participate, so I'm really looking forward to expanding that program and getting more schools to participate. It's 4th and 5th grade students, so it's a great, amazing program. I know Mr. Flesher and Miss Susan Adams, they help judge that event. It's a great event. It is so much fun. It's one of my favorites, and that's one of our school enrichment programs that we offer.
Thank you for mentioning it. That is one of the most rewarding experiences, and I think we've just seen a wonderful glimpse of the product of this great program when everybody thinks that 4-H is about growing plants and animals and animal husbandry. It's about molding the future, and that's what we see here today. I know Jojo and Joe's dad is here, proud papa holding a camera. And I'll tell you what, we met as you were very small individuals. We won't say children, but we'll say smaller individuals. And it's very rewarding knowing that you participated in that program that we have the opportunity to share and to see how you've developed into fine individuals. This program is a wonderful program, and thank you for the experience. and showing us a little glimpse of what it's all about. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Chairman, as far as 4-H legislature is concerned, I wish that the actual legislators would come and watch you guys and see how it's done. Bravo, gentlemen. Good job.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Come on up. Come on up.
Remember when they were in strollers? Yeah, strollers. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Look at you guys.
Mandates or anything like that.
Thank you. Tremendous.
As far as they get.
He's a lobbyist, huh?
Congratulations. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Right in the middle. Come on, brother. Get over a little bit. There you go.
There's a 4-H class for that.
He needs a photography class.
Is he eligible?
One, two, three. Thank you, Commissioners, for all that.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you again. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Good job, guys. Thank you very much. All right, item 7, information from staff or commissioners not requiring board action. We have the venue event calendar. And like I said, I didn't bring it today, but it's a full slate of things going on throughout the county, especially with the rec department, everything, things going on at the IG Center and what have you. So I would encourage everybody to go to our brand-new website and check that out. All right, moving on to item 8, consent agenda. Commissioners, I have a request to discuss 8.080. Other than that, anything you wish to discuss?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to pull 8 Oscar and P Papa.
8O and 8P. Okay, got it. Anything else?
Move to approve as amended.
I have a motion by Commissioner Moss to approve as,
I'll second it so long as there's nobody from the audience that wants to pull anything.
what are you doing today?
He's seconding.
Oh, anybody from the public wish to comment? I'm sorry, thank you. Forgot. It's been a busy day. Okay, seeing no one, Commissioner, I have a motion by Commissioner Moss. Do I have a second?
Yes, sir.
Second by Commissioner Fleischer to approve the consent agenda as amended. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Commissioner Fleischer, 8-0 Oscar and 8-0 8P Papa.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. 8 Oscar is the Five Guys at Sebastian Corner's use of county parking and space agreement, which had been discussed, and I don't know if it was fully vetted out. Looking at the fact that the tax collector does have some concerns as well, that there's parking spots, and then there's training area where young students learn how to properly park and drive, and they take their test there. It's a state-recognized location, and I don't know if we've fully vetted out all of the concerns. No concerns. I wish that Five Guys fills up the parking lot, and I believe they will. And I just don't know if the hours are in conflict with the training hours as well. So I just want to ensure that there's compatibility. So at this point, I believe that we should turn this back over to the county administrator to look at it and bring this back after it's been fully vetted out.
So, Mr. Chair, members of the board, staff is very mindful of the tax collector's concerns. And what we would ask, if you keep in mind, you've already approved this lease with Five Guys. So what we could do is, if you were to approve this, we would meet with the proprietors and see if we could extend their hours to a later time frame, to like 6. I know the tax collector's office closes at 5. This originally contemplated 4. We could ask for an additional 2 hours where they would provide those spaces. I don't know if that would be, and then as well, there's on the weekends where they would have hours.
Well, again, we can look at recreating it and looking at changing structure, but once approved, it's moving forward. We now have a contract, correct?
If you approved it subject to an hours change.
And you'll review that, Counselor?
I mean, what if Five Guys says no? I mean, they go to 5 o'clock. If you want to pull the matter, go ahead and pull the matter and have staff work on it additionally. But as far as anything else, my preference to always have a completed, negotiated, signed contract brought before the board so that the agenda matter that appears on the record matches the same one that's the final product.
So it's my concern, exactly, Counselor, that we will have an agreement that could be honored, not be honored, maybe, okay, well, maybe we'll change a little bit. If it's going to affect the state authorized location for training, which is, it's a county facility as well for the tax collector, then I believe that we should fully vet it out before we move forward.
Staff can proceed with that direction if that's the board desired.
Yes, it would be my recommendation that we send this back to y'all and bring it back at a later date to make sure that everything's worked out, because I want the proprietors happy, and I certainly want our tax collector's office happy. And so that would be my recommendation, that y'all come back with.
We delay this to the next meeting, it's 2 weeks. I'm sure there'll be burgers in the meantime.
We do that?
That's fine. Perhaps an exhibit showing the parking areas and everything else would be helpful as far as bringing it back to us.
Just so we have nice compatibility, even flow. We want good neighbors on both ends. Also, beyond that, just to be able to have a safe operation for our youthful drivers that are attaining the license.
Okay.
Thank you. So my motion is to table this.
Staff, take it.
Direct staff, and we can bring this back next meeting. I'm sure that'll be time.
Got a motion by Commissioner Fleischer. I'll second that. Anybody in the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Commissioner Fleischer, 8P Paul.
8P Papa. That's a sole source designation for Saviak Consulting LLC for our strategic plan. And it has been proposed by staff and our county administrator to move forward with the strategic planning, the first arm of strategic planning, which is to designate 2 individuals to move forward from Saviak Consulting. I read their bios. They're very impressive. My concern is that we're moving forward on something that is not of an urgent matter. I looked at some criteria of why we would want a sole source. There is truly, it's important, but it's not urgent. We don't have a timeline that suggests that this has to be done immediately by 2 individuals that were selected without a competitive bid, without an RFP. I believe it's a very important decision to have somebody to work our strategic plan. But by the same token, when we choose an individual to do that, or a consulting group to do that, we have to look at what's the long-range plan. And the long-range plan is to have an immediacy. It is well within the scope of budgetary limitations by the county administrator, but there is a second and third phase to this process. And once we get into that process, we are committing for a sole source of well beyond the expense limitation to the county administrator. I don't feel it's got the proper optics. I believe that we have to ensure that we have the best of the best, and we need to do an RFP as opposed to a sole source. I see no justification whatsoever in having a sole source selection at this time.
Commissioners, any comment?
So, do you want to do the strategic plan? I'm trying to figure out exactly.
We can go ahead with a strategic plan. It is important to do that to ensure that we're in the right position and going forward, being good stewards of the taxpayer dollar and operating in the most efficient fashion, and the best efforts forward. But I don't believe it's optically correct to sole source this particular consulting group. Their bios are what they are, but I believe that we need to fairly, because it's going to go well beyond the budgetary limits of the county administrator. This is only phase one. And once we get into phase one, that slippery slope is well defined. How can we go to anybody else? We've already had these guys do this. So it's going to be a larger financial commitment. So we're doing it in phases so that we can get to where we want to by that person that was hand-selected without a bidding process, without an RFP. And I feel that it's disingenuous to use the sole source element based on the criteria that we have. It's not an urgent matter, and it's going to go well beyond the scope of the county administrator's limitations. I think if we can do an RFP, we can get this job done real quick, and we can get it done the right way, fully transparent, and a greater commitment to the taxpayer.
Mr. Administrator?
Yes, I did propose this as a sole source. As you noted, it certainly falls within my spending authority, and it was just in the interest of transparency of putting it before the board. I do think, actually, in my opinion, that it is urgent, it is critical. I think time is of the essence. The county has operated without a strategic plan where there's established goals, direction. The mission that we have date back to pre-2000. None of our employees know it. So I think it is important to get this underway. And I think the 3 months, because the idea is to have the goals and priorities as well as the mission, vision, the values, as an organization, what do we stand for? Those are the foundation upon which we can build for future phases. And as it does note in here, the subsequent phases, it may involve this firm. I don't know if it will. You all, as we work together, may say they did a good job giving us a foundation, but I'd like to go out for others. It doesn't guarantee that, Saviak LLC would be the ones moving forward. So I do think the other reason why, in the interest of time, is, we're already starting that process. As we got our departments already looking at their capital improvement or the capital budgets, and shortly thereafter they'll be looking at the budgets as it relates for the upcoming fiscal year. Even though I get it, today's the first day, that process goes fairly quickly, and the idea is to have the departments understand the board's direction in terms of established goals, priorities, as they start developing their budgets, not waiting. Otherwise, we'd be looking at potentially 3-4 months, and then this would be done at the same time that the budgets are being submitted. So it won't likely inform our department heads as much as it could in terms of being judicious, in terms of focusing on those items that the board finds it's important for the future of the county.
Well, with that said, I think you made the case. It's going to be, you're stating that we may have an option to hire the same team and hire the same team. If they produce a product, it is what they did, and we're just going to have to piggyback and go further and further. And I just feel that we should have an RFP and not utilize the sole source. I'd like to reserve that for when we need a specialized piece of equipment that's only available by one individual or one vendor, or it's not compatible with our systems, as we've done with many other decisions in the past. This has always been a debate about sole source. We have to use that with caution, not as a tool. It's done as a reserved item, a sole source. A sole source is, we just can't get it anywhere else. And we can get this a lot of other places.
And Commissioner, I'm not disagreeing with you. That's why in the agenda item I mentioned it's a multi-phased approach. And this is the first phase, which lays the foundations, the goals, the objectives, the strategies, and all that would be worked if you, in the agenda item talks about an internal strategic planning team working with the consultant, with the board, with the community. It may not, this is a goal-setting workshop at its core. It's a there's preliminary work, surveying, and stuff like that, but it's a one-day workshop with the board.
Well, in 17 years, I can't remember when we did not continue with the same consultant. We have some projects that we're doing. I'm looking at Himanshu. We have the same consultants working our grounds for a better part of 15 years. And, each year, we don't, they're not sole source. They've given us a product, and we continue on. And we have contracts with these individuals, and I feel that this is just a slippery slope into that same position, whereas some of the decisions we've made have been where we just can't get that service anywhere else. This service, strategic planning, is an abundant commodity, and I believe that this was just selected. Again, it does fall within the threshold, the financial threshold, but we will then be pushing the window the next stage and the next stage. And ultimately, we'll get a goal. Look, you said it yourself, we've been without a strategic plan for so many years, or working with the same old strategic plan. It may take 2 months to have an RFP done, and have responses. What's 2 months after we've had 20 years? I just don't see the urgency. I can't absorb it.
Commissioner Moss?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I do think the timing of this is critical. I understand your concern about sole source, and, for most of our pursuits, I think that's, it's totally legitimate. But this is, it's long overdue. We need to do things in a new way. Our county administrator has worked with these people. That's why he's recommending them to us. So, they come to us not entirely unknown by all of us. So I do think it's a critical matter to go forward with it at this time.
Mr. Laura?
Mr. Chair, thank you. The administrator is being transparent. He could have simply taken care of this under his threshold. We all know that. Secondly, I recall the administrator's budget message, and I think we were all excited about the direction that John is taking us. Reflecting back on the 23 years without one, the timeliness, as he mentioned previously, is paramount because of the budget process that has already been started for 24-25. This information will be needed for department heads and this board hopefully by the end of December, beginning of January, somewhere in there. And additionally, and I haven't been here long enough to know, but the strategic plan probably has an effect on some of the dollars that we might be chasing, federal and statewide. So that's where I stand on that. I think when we interviewed the candidates for administrator, I know that John spoke a lot about revitalizing what's going on here. I think he's done a lot of research within this area, and I have the confidence that he can take it to the next level.
Mr. Chair, if there are no further comments.
There are.
Well, I'm moved to approve this with comments.
Do I have a second? Motion by Commissioner Moss, second by Commissioner Adams. Mr. Chair. I see merits to both sides of this. I really do. I mean, I understand what Commissioner Lohr said and what you said, Mr. Administrator. I think we do need to continually move ahead, and we probably need to move a little bit faster than we have maybe in some of the previous years. But yet, I also see Commissioner Fleischer's point of we need to do it, but let's open it up, to an RFP. How much would it delay it to go out on a bid? Do you feel? I mean, and give me your thoughts on how detrimental you think that would be.
I mean, I think you'd have to, okay, it takes a month to develop the scope that gets approved, then submit it out there. Then you're looking at a 2-month period, potentially coming back, being voted on, coming back to the board. You could be looking at into January, maybe February, when we're kind of really wanting already to have at least it's not the full blown, it's just it's a goal setting workshop that we're also going to do a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, or challenges. They're going to be surveying staff, surveying other people, having individual meetings with each of you to develop what those goals are for the purposes identifying the future direction of our, as an organization. And then the future phases, as I envisioned in the agenda item, and that's why I said may, I didn't say we would be, is where you come back with an internal strategic planning team, you build in a stakeholder, development component in terms of reaching out to the community, reaching out to our constitutionals, getting them involved based on the goals and the framework that you all said, this is where we want to go, and then fine-tuning that at a much larger effort.
Okay, and under your authority, why this company versus, I'm sure you're familiar with others?
I have worked with others. I mean, as you know, I've taught strategic planning, at the graduate level for University of Central Florida as an adjunct faculty member, and I have worked with others. I don't deny that there's many firms out there. I've worked with each of these individuals. I think they're eminently qualified. They speak at numerous state associations, state agencies. They've done strategic plans for sheriff's agencies, for local governments, and I can appreciate the work and the approach that they take. And I think it gets right to it, and I think you'll be pleased with the product.
Mr. Chair, I just wanted to answer your question about the time frame of what an RFP would do. On this agenda, under solid waste disposal districts, we have an update to the franchise collection procurement process. We started that RFP process in, July? We still don't have the RFP written. It's not set to go out till later this month, early next month. Then it's got to go through its process of being able to be bid on, that whole process of looking at bids, and we're not even scheduled to have a discussion on which one we may or may not choose until March of next year. So if you guys want to do this anytime at all this budget cycle, I would suggest that we move forward with it. And as a reminder to piggyback off of Commissioner Lohr's comments, one of the reasons that we hired the administrator is because of his experience in strategic planning and because of all the discussions that we had about the need to bring this county kind of into a new era of planning. I know there's other plans going on in other departments, and but the time frame, so I would agree that the time frame is like we need to get it done if you guys want to do it this year.
Mr. Chairman, again, I preface the comments with having read the bios. These gentlemen are extraordinary gentlemen and well accomplished. That's not a concern. And as far as a reflection to our county administrator, I appreciate your desire to push forward. My only concern is that this was not done in the customary fashion, and that I don't see the absolute urgency. We can coin it, label it, discuss it any way we want, but in the end, what's the couple of months that's going to make it this fully transparent? That's all. It's the only concern. It's no reflection to our county administrator, no reflection to the Saviak Consulting Group. Did a little research. They're a fine group. I agree, and I've heard your presentation, as we all have, separately. But just I hold that sole source to the highest level. I believe that it's got to be well justified. It's got to pass every test in order for us to say, okay, you got the contract. Yeah, no, we don't have to look anywhere else. That's what we're telling citizens. So I just get concerned about the sole sourcing. It has nothing to do with any other area of this decision. I just want to make it perfectly clear.
Sure. Again, I think you have to look at the experience that our administrator has, the situations that he's been in throughout his professional career. He talked about being a professor at the University of Central Florida. I think he knows what he's doing, and he's got the ball rolling in just a few months. And I think this is important that we stick with the plan and get it done as soon as possible.
All right, anything further? I have a motion by Commissioner Moss, second by Commissioner Adams, to accept as presented on the consent agenda. Is there anybody from the public who wish to comment? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Motion passes 4-1 with Commissioner Fleischer dissenting. All right. Moving on. We moved all the way to number 10, public items. Public discussion items, 10B1. Public discussion request from Lance Lunsford, Vice Chairman of the Taxpayers Association, Community Council, and the Community Council recognition. Lance, welcome.
Commissioners, welcome. It's a great honor to speak with you today. I'm here on behalf of the Taxpayers Association to formally recognize and thank the county for participating in our inaugural Community Council. I do have to say, Commissioner Ehrman, you are making my job a little bit difficult wearing that FSU shirt, but you know, as a son and a grandson of a Gator family, I do want to break the taxpayers' nonpartisan stance to just quickly thank Commissioners Lohr and Moss for wearing the appropriate attire today. Go Gators. But, you know, at first I thought that I have a great sense of timing. I'm speaking after two sports legends, recognizing our first responders, hearing those two eloquent young gentlemen speak, but I actually think this is the perfect position in this meeting today, because today you really saw what our community is about, and this is really a similar spirit that we tried to embody in our community council. We are here, of course, with Commissioner Ehrman. It was a part of our council. We have our very own tax collector, Carol Jean Jordan, who is also a part of our wonderful, wonderful council. Clerk Butler was a part of it as well. You had Superintendent Moore. If there's any others, please forgive me. But this was an inaugural festivity to ensure that our community, regardless of the issues, regardless of the division, regardless of the spirit that sometimes manages to divide us, we are all one county, we're all one community. And it was a wonderful event where we showed and forecasted the future of the county, the future of the region, what we have to look forward to, all the great, exciting, bold things that we're planning, but also still heralded in the wisdom and the traditions of our culture and our county. And I think it was an interesting rhetorical message for me to really observe today, because as a former band captain and an all-national trombonist, I do appreciate that you brought the band in. That was very exciting. And I think this event, you saw the youth, you saw the energy, you saw the vigor of our young future generations. You also saw the need, and Commissioner Fletcher made this great point, to be cautious and be wise. And you saw that message articulated through the sacrifices of our first responders here today. And so I think all of this paints a great picture for what we were trying to accomplish at that council, getting all the leaders in the community together in one room in harmony. I think the best review actually didn't come from an official in government or from a member of the taxpayer board or a member of the 92 members of the public that came and visited, which was, again, very exciting because it was on a Friday evening. It came from one of my personal friends who's the same age as me. He's a 23-year-old band director. And he said, Lance, I saw something at this event that I've never seen in government before, looking at the federal, looking at the state, looking at all current events. Lance, I saw unity. That's what you all presented at this community council. Whether it was the commissioner, whether it was our tax collector, whether it was our supervisor of elections, our state senator who really binded us at the beginning with that solemn remembrance of Dr. McCain. It was a event that really galvanized the best of this county, and I think it's tough for us who are involved in government, whether we're officials or whether we're members of the public advocating, to sometimes get disillusioned with all the negativity, with all of the division, with all of the hate at times. It's important to have symbols like these that show how we as a county should operate and how we as a country should be operating as well. So to the extent that taxpayers are able to provide that event for you all, we wanted to come here and formally thank you, and by extension our tax collector and any other individuals who might be associated with the county that put on the event. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Omalara Campbell and Joshua Chandler at the IG Center, who were very helpful in coordinating logistics of the event. And of course, our unsung heroes. We had law enforcement there to secure the event and make sure that we were safe. We had a squad there to make sure that there was no difficulty. Everyone there felt safe, could really function. There weren't any disruptions. And as a final thank you to Commissioner Ehrman, obviously he was a member of our council, but I also want to thank him for all of the behind-the-scenes work in planning and logistically making sure that the event and the facilities were all appropriately guarded, managed. We had everything, all of our ducks in a row, so to say. And so this is, again, just a wonderful testament to what we are about as a community and what we can do going forward. I did not put this in the request, but since she is with me, would it be all right if Carol Jean could say a few words?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Carol Jean.
I'd just like to thank you all as well for helping put it together. But Lance gives everybody a lot of credit, but he spent an enormous amount of time putting this event together, getting everybody's schedule together, moving things around when it wasn't working out. And I did think it was a wonderful event that did show the unity. And I've said this to you all before when I've come before the council, that Indian River County is different from a lot of other counties in the state of Florida in that we do all work together. I mean, we may have disagreements here or there, but we all work together for the good of the county, and it's just, it's a wonderful thing, and I think you showed that in the presentation. I frankly expected we might walk on each other a little bit, if you will, when we talk, because we're all A personalities or we wouldn't be there, but we did not. It was run so well and so professionally, and you know, this man just needs a tremendous amount of credit for putting it together, and I thank you, Lance.
Lance, on behalf of the board, I want to thank you. I thought it was a great event, and I remember we had the discussion when you came before the commission, and I think, we discussed it in the IG Center. Commissioner Fleischer ended up being a much better venue than this would have been, because it made it more personal, put everybody kind of on the same level, and everything worked out well. And I was really surprised. We had a great turnout, like you said, for a Friday evening. I was surprised by that, but thank you for all your efforts, and Jordan, Stewart, and the rest of the group for all their efforts. It turned out to be a great thing. I think a lot of people got a lot out of it. I personally got a lot out of it, having everybody in the same room, even before and after, and especially during the meeting. But I think it went very well, and I think our staff did a great job of having it ready for us and having a great time and a great event. So thank you for all your efforts.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Moss.
As a member of the audience, I just want to say, it was a really enjoyable evening. The room was packed. I got there, I almost got there late. I think I got the last seat. It was absolutely packed. No one left. I mean, everyone really enjoyed it. And I love the way it dovetailed. I don't know if you're psychic or what happened, but that we are going out now, County Commission, and meeting with each of the cities, each of the municipalities individually. It's a wonderful moment for the county that everything's coming together. And, you know, thank you for making that evening happen. It's a wonderful, wonderful evening.
I appreciate that. And if I should add the numbers point, you know, we had 30 individuals from Taxpayers Association RSVP to the event. One of our board members actually counted all the heads in the audience at the end of the night, and there were 92. So that's why we had to bring in extra chairs to just, and thankfully Joshua and Omlar were very vigilant in keeping and bringing new chairs in. But, you know, like you said, I was kind of in this position where, as chairing it, you know, you don't know what to expect. I wanted to be a neutral sort of face of taxpayers. I didn't really want to engage or try to, you know, pull people together to speak when they didn't have to, when they may not have wanted to. But I didn't have to do any of that because it wasn't siloed conversation, just giving presentations on what the tax collector's office or the county commission or our state senator were doing individually. People really engaged one another, and I'll actually shout out a couple of points if I may. You know, Carol Jean brought up the need for civility. Leslie Swan brought up the need to pursue truth and to be vigilant against misinformation. Commission Chair Ehrman was the one who really made the point about how everyone works together and talks to each other and engages with each other. Wesley, our property appraiser, and Eric, our sheriff, brought up the new technologies and how they're affecting government. Our mayors explained all of the new exciting projects happening in our city. So every corner of what's happening in this region was touched upon. I think that was it was a victory for the Taxpayers Association. I gotta be honest, it's a victory for me. This is where I'm born and raised. Like I said, you know, even at the beginning of this event when you brought on the bands, and that kind of brought me back to high school on those Friday nights, because I remember being an executive officer and how all the planning went into Friday night football games and just what happens here. It was a great victory for me personally, because again, this is where I'm from, this is my home. I want to see it have another 100 years of success, and I know it was a victory for taxpayers because we were able to show what we're about as a community, how our government is really respecting our taxpayer dollars, and how going forward we intend to obviously keep up the mantle of accountability, but also want to keep up the mantle of collaboration with all of you and in moving forward to deliver great results for our constituents and for the people of this county. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lance, appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Madam Tax Collector.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. We're at item 15, Special District Boards. We're at the Solid Waste Improvement District. I have 15B1, approval of solid waste disposal district meeting minutes of July 11th, 15B2, the minutes of July 12th, B3, the meeting minutes of August 15th, and 15B4, the meeting minutes of August 29th.
Mr. Chair, move approval all four.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Fleischer, second by Commissioner Adams. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, moving on to 15B6, an additional update on franchise collection process. And there he comes. Not with the orange and blue face today.
Good
which I
morning,
can't
Commissioners.
believe.
Himanshu Mehta. There it is. So next year, I guess I'll have to make up for that. So great morning today, and I'm again excited about what we do here in Indian River County. Briefly, I know the food trucks are out there, so we want to get out there. This is a quick update on our franchise agreement process. As Commissioner Adams mentioned, we started this in July. We've had a series of meetings with our consultant. There is a draft RFP that has been put together. And as we're getting ready later this month, mid-month or late this month to get this RFP out on the street, what we realized is in the process is we wanted to talk to you or update you about the scoring system in the RFP. There is a element of qualifications and references that we look at, and also a technical proposal that we solicit in the RFP. And what we felt as a group was to add some more points to those categories. And so the purpose of the agenda item is to let you know that the draft that we're looking to put out and finalize on the street would reduce the financial score by 20 points. It was originally 65 points. We want to reduce that down to 45. And the other two categories of qualifications and references and the technical proposal, they were originally 15 points each. We want to increase that by 10 points each to 25 and 25 respectively. we feel that ultimately it will come down to price. So price is going to be a factor, if you will. We want to make sure that our residents get the best price for the services. At the same time, we want to make sure we're doing our due diligence with all of the companies, making sure we review their qualifications, look at their references. What is their history of providing the services in other communities? We want the best in Indian River County. And so we want to really make sure that we're taking a look at that. We're looking at their technical proposal and what they're presenting. Last time around, we didn't ask for RNG vehicles. It was something that was offered. It was not a requirement, but that was part of the technical proposal that WM offered. And certainly, going through our community and the quietness of the vehicles and things like that, it certainly has stood out over the years for us in our community. So these are the things that we want to kind of make sure our selection committee is looking at and not just solely focusing on the price. So our recommendation is to just kind of let you know that we've updated the scoring system. If you have any questions or any input at this time, this would be sort of the final before we get this out on the street.
Any questions amongst you? Mr. Attorney, this is not something that needs action, is it?
Yes, I would take a formal vote on this because there's going to be a lot of interest in this, and I think that we should have a strong record supporting the yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, move staff.
I asked. Any
Move
questions?
move staff recommendation.
I'll second that, but I do have a question, and seeing Councilmember McPartlin in the room reminded me of what Sebastian went through in their process, and I know one of their contentions was if Sebastian was considered a subscription service, and if people could have bid just on the universal versus a subscription or something like that, they might have gotten more options. So just for my own clarification, because I don't know the answer to this, is our RFP set up so everybody has to bid on all the options in the RFP, or can they, each company, if they don't want to bid like on, say there's 2-day service in there, they only want to bid on a 1-day service, can they separate that? Am I making sense? Does that make sense?
So there are 4 options that will be in the RFP. 2 of them are subscription-based, 2 of them are universal-based. The subscription is, based is the current service that we have right now, which is, what we call 111, once a week garbage, once a week yard waste, once a week recycling pickup. That's the current, process we have now. So the haulers will have an opportunity to bid on that sort of the current service. The next option was, going to carted yard waste. Providing a cart for yard waste services. So those are subscription options. The universal is universal with the yard waste as it is now, or universal with a carted yard waste. So the haulers always have an opportunity to, if not, respond. If they want to cross out and not provide a price for a service, that's up to them. We're not going to make them give us a price on something. So they have an opportunity to give us their best offer, if you will, in terms of the 4 pricing categories that we have in the bid. And then the selection committee will review that, if you will, overall. So we will, when we present to you, we'll have a recommendation, if you will, in terms of what we as a selection committee ultimately recommend to the board as the best option to go forward with.
So they don't have to bid on each 4 options. They could just bid on 2 or 1 or whatever they might want to be able to provide.
We're going to make sure that they at least put, no response or NA, or that they're making sure that we have something in writing from them that says they're not willing to offer. For example, if they do not want to offer carted yard waste and they say, no, this is not a service that our company wants to offer, then we're only going to compare them, just on that category.
Okay, that answers the question. Thank you.
Any further questions?
Appreciate it.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Fleischer, second by Commissioner Adams. Anybody from the public wish to comment on the motion? Seeing none, Commissioners, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Passes 5-0. Thank you, sir. All right, Commissioners, with that, our next meeting will be October 17th, 2023 at 9 a.m. We got something else? That's the only thing I got.
We do.
That's when we got
That was
pulled.
pulled, okay.
Remember that one got pulled. Yeah, I'm sorry. So October 17th, 2023 at 9 a.m. And I would encourage you, those that are in here, we don't have a big crowd in here right now, but the board, everybody, if you want lunch, it's outside for your purchase. And I would hope that we support these businesses that are outside. With that, thank you for game day. It was a great success, and we still made it out of here by noon. So with that, we stand adjourned.